Welcome to the Sunday Night Army podcast, the #1 music discovery podcast anywhere and everywhere. Here is your host, Jacob.
Welcome to Entertainment News 21. If you're looking for the Sunday Night Army podcast with music and all the other cool stuff, any podcast streaming platform gets you the show. 108 countries have listened to the show worldwide on all podcast and music streaming platforms. This is not it. This is the YouTube and Rumble exclusive, which is only heard here and seen here. And you see this face. Now, what you will get today is what's in the description, a couple of reviews on some movies, some shows, and some other stuff that just seems to happen. Now, I released a new episode today on all podcast streaming platforms. Go check that out at episode 326, I think. So getting up there. Stuff is starting up for me with the show. I should be on vacation, but I'm not. I figured, well, how about I do an Entertainment News episode 21 today and get caught up on some of the things happening. Of course, breaking out this cool shirt today. Now with all this stuff happening, I had a lot of things add up, and I figured I had some extra time today, as I explained on today's episode of the show of 326. Go find that, go listen to it. Some good stuff there, especially for artists. If you're an artist and you want to know more about being on the show and getting your name out there and all the other cool stuff that I do on the actual show on all streaming platforms, go check that episode out right now on Spotify, anywhere else you listen to podcasts. I am there. Now, Entertainment News 21. First off, let's start with the good. Some movie reviews. I watched a couple things here lately that I remember now. Old Dads on Netflix. That was pretty funny. Liked it. Dirty Pop as a documentary. Pretty cool stuff. To get an insight of that industry from that angle, out of all things, that was pretty good. I gotta say. Now, the big one, Deadpool and Wolverine. That was interesting. I'm not gonna say it's bad because it wasn't bad. It's a movie with cameos. Maybe some spoiler alert here, but if you haven't seen it yet, it's a fun movie. It doesn't progress anything anywhere. It's its own thing, but it cameos of everything, a lot of different things. So it's pretty cool. It goes to cameos you wouldn't expect. It's typical Ryan Reynolds Deadpool movie where it's a lot of violence and dumb shit. It was a fun watch, but it's just what it is. It doesn't add much to the MCU, maybe a little bit, but not too much. But it was cool. I liked it. It was way better than I thought it was going to be. It was actually enjoyable. I laughed a few times. So it was good. It was good. Definitely go check that out. Check that movie out when you have a chance. Besides that, let's just talk about because there's some shows I stopped watching. Now, before I get to those, there's a show that I've fully watched, and it was called Receiver on Netflix. That was fun. Besides the Fallout series, which is great, it's a sports because football season is almost upon us. Receiver was a great intro from last season, what happened to kind of getting warmed up for this season. If you don't know, I'm a big Lions fan, and Receiver was actually probably better than Quarterback, if that tells you anything. So Netflix Receiver, great show too. Couple shows I gave up on. I know House of Dragon season 2 is out now. I gave up after season 1. I didn't even watch the last episode of season 1 because that's how I didn't like it. I did not like it at all. It was very disappointing. Storyline, just CGI was getting just whatever. It wasn't very compelling. And the other one I gave up on, which I actually really liked, I gave up on the Umbrella Academy at season 3. At season 3, I was just like, I couldn't get through it. I just couldn't. It was just not fun. It wasn't interesting. So kind of gave up on that. I know that one's out now too with new episodes. And Cobra Kai is coming out too with its last season. I stopped watching that after I think 3 seasons too. It was just regurgitating the same shit. There's only so much you can do with these shows. So they need to end when they're good or where they're just staggering down. Don't overdo it. Speaking of over things that are overdone, this is entertainment news after all. Olympics. Why are we talking about Olympics? Well, Olympics are ending right now. This is the last weekend, I think. I don't know. I usually follow the Olympics every year, every time. This year, though, a little different. As I like watching countries competing in sports. It's fun. I like sports. I like watching different countries compete in sports. I'm watching the Olympics since the 90s, I think 1992. And so I actually started paying attention as a kid to sports. And it's ruined now. And what am I talking about? Well, if you watch the opening ceremonies, they were the worst of all time. Now, why would I say that? Yeah, content not great. Because you get the opportunity to feature your country on a global scale more than you normally would. And to do that, you put out hopefully the best content your country has. I don't think that was it from France. I could be wrong. Maybe France is worse than I thought. I don't think that was their best. All over the place. So many music acts, cool. The rest of the creative content looked like it was just kind of spliced together all over the place, nonsensical. Besides, very offensive. Now, what was the worst part? That wasn't even the worst part. All the dumb shit wasn't even as bad as the actual parade of countries. You had these fuckers on boats mixed with other countries on the same boat. You have them go down a stinky river through half the city in the rain, outdoors for the first time. What genius came up with an idea? You know, I want to put thousands of people on a boat, have them travel outdoors on a boat in the rain, out of all things, outside. Really? What was wrong with having them walk into a stadium in the controlled environment? And people paid for this outdoor experience to go and stand there as this boat floats by. There's a country. Oh, there's 5 countries on one boat. Oh, okay. Is that the best they could do? Or did they kind of go over the top creatively? Not in a good way, but just gimmicky enough where it's over the top. To me, it's all a gimmick, from the opening ceremonies to all that bullshit. It's all a giant gimmick that they threw in everything extreme they could into it, and they're getting nailed about it. That was horrible. This is probably the worst Olympics I've ever seen. Well, my personal experience. It's entertainment. It's supposed to be. Sports is a form of entertainment. And unfortunately, probably a giant waste of resources. Out of all the conflicts we have in the world, all the bullshit, you know what's going to happen. And yet, you come up with something like this. Not to unite the world in something, but to be your own fucking creative bubble. Disappointing. It is what it is. But not happy with the Olympics. Hopefully the winter ones, and I know the next ones are coming to LA, which already my expectations are super low. But yeah, that's glad it's over. Glad it's pretty much over this weekend as this episode comes out. I'm not even watching the closing ceremonies because who cares? Nobody really cares. I don't care. The athletes don't even care. I'm just glad that everybody's in there safe, got what they need to do, because the way they've been treated, you had athletes in non-air conditioned rooms, cardboard beds because they're eco-friendly. These are people in their peak, in prime athletic ability, and you're giving them cardboard to sleep on, non-climate controlled rooms, and then some of the food wasn't great. They're trying to go sustainable. Are you out of your damn mind? Really? That's what you're going to do to these peak performance artists, peak performance athletes. And that's what how you're going to treat them. It was so bad. I heard a story. The U.S. basketball team went and bought a whole damn hotel full of rooms. Spent millions of their own dollars for accommodations because that's how bad they were. And you know what? It just seals it for me that these were the worst Olympics in an extremely long time, in more ways than one. Outside of that, the WNBA has been in the news for months, and I'm actually happy to be here to talk about it because it was probably in the same level as Canadian curling, but because of certain athletes, it's back up a little bit. It's in the news. They're getting more funding, getting more sponsors. They're not totally, well, they're still totally relying on the NBA, but it's growing. It's growing because two particular athletes, Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark, two rookies. And as someone who's followed sports for a long time, who's played sports for a long time, kind of knows some things, it's a good thing for the sport. You want controversy. You want controversy with talent. It's entertaining. It's entertaining on the court. It's entertaining off the court. So let's have this continue because it's a good thing for the sport. And I still need a Caitlyn Clark jersey. So Fever sent me. I keep messaging them on X and they never message me back. I would like a jersey. But besides that, it's a good thing for the sport. The WNBA wants eyes on it. This is how it gets them. So that is very good for the entertainment portion of the sport. Maybe the talent will get better as we go because it's the WNBA hasn't been there. So hopefully this props up more athletes to be WNBA players. Go for it. Awesome. The league is growing and it's a positive. It's a positive. Outside of that, Entertainment News 21, lots of things happening this year still with this YouTube channel. I'm hoping, I know YouTube is shit, especially for me, for this show. YouTube has been garbage. It has been not a place that is very supporting to me as a creator. I know people are coming back to it. I figure I give it a shot. Some of the creators I follow have started coming back to YouTube. I don't want to, but I'm willing to try. If this is where it's supposed to be. My numbers on all these platforms up here, podcast platforms, killer. Awesome. I've been on vacation and the number's still going up. Cool. Great. And I appreciate every single person that has bought merchandise. Every single person that's bought merchandise, I thank you. Because you guys listening and buying merch, supporting the show helps me continue to do stuff like this. This is why I actually have had time and, let's do it an Entertainment News 21 episode because why not? Feels like it's time to revisit this again. For those who follow me on Instagram, Facebook, radio stuff's happening. I'm on radio. At the time of recording, I should be actually broadcasting on this station. So next hour and 20 minutes. Go check that out. So 7 p.m. Every Sunday on radio, FM radio. Outside of that, anytime you want on any podcast streaming platform, get all these episodes, 326 as of today, because a brand new episode came up today. For all these are music artists that want to know more stuff. Besides that, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Let's get to growing this community a little bit more. Rumble, great. I see more followers there. That's awesome. Let's get YouTube over 100. Let's get Rumbled up to 100. That'll be fantastic. Thank you again, and I'll talk to you guys next time.